Hi, I'm Becca, the manager at Portico at West End, one of 7 Portico day nurseries. We're registered for 44 children and it's birth to 5, and we offer an after school club as well. We're NDNA members and we first saw the Literacy Champions project online.
Well, I think we did the staff meeting first to kind of really go through what the Literacy Champions project was all about and what we kind of wanted to get from it. So we did it as we actually went round each area with the audit tools with the staff together, and we was able to see sort of what we all thought about it, and then everyone did their own individual ones as well. So we did find on the whole there was lots of things we could do to improve. Particularly things like your story stacks and just adding more. There's more things you can do to a reading area and writing around the rooms that we just haven't thought about doing in the first place. I think for me the inconsistency between the full setting, for example preschool might have had more and then babies needed improving, so I think it was just that really for me, and just kind of how much more you can add to a setting, resources, but that wouldn't necessarily cost any money.
Well, we did find that there was some improvements that came apparent when we done our staff supervisions. I know one of the girls in particular, when they spoke to Becca, storytelling was something that they didn't feel confident with, and sort of engaging a big group of children and without them sort of just losing interest was sort of an issue for them. So me and Becca sort of went in the room to like be that role model, to show them how we do our storytelling, using the story stacks that we'd made, and just sort of getting the children involved with the puppets, and it sort of becomes, you know, it just makes it fun really. And I think the staff really took that on board, and their confidence has just shone through since we've been doing this project. So.
But with regards to resources on the development zone, we've definitely used some of them. Make sure they're all on the planning, and we found it great because it's not necessarily a cost either, because everything that you give us examples how to make things, they were all things you already had in your resources, so yeah, that's been great.
From the webinars I was able to create sort of PowerPoints so the girls had sort of something in writing and they could, you know, read over them and sort of get their heads around the information as well. So it's not just, you know, sort of me and Becca, everyone was involved. And the parents were also emailed sort of web links and information, you know, so they were sort of informed as well, just as much as us staff. So we could all like work together and everyone knew sort of what was going on and where we were coming from. When we were talking about things. The impact's been great. I just feel so proud of all of the girls just for sort of, you know, being on board with it and understanding, you know, why the literacy is so important, and sort of, you know, really using the literacy resources well. And like I say, especially one of the girls in the 2 to 3 room with promoting sort of that language development. I just think like the parent partnerships and the way she's been sort of working together with them, I just think it's just amazing. It's really good to see. So, and I think my confidence as well, from, you know, me sort of starting in baby room, you know, I was quite quiet, I'd say, and then I become the senior and I moved into preschool, and now I'm a deputy manager, and I do feel that my confidence has improved, you know, a lot.
We've had lots of male role models come in to the setting. Some of our dads, some that can cook, one's a firefighter, and one who reads to them all the time. He's always coming in, engaging and reading with them, which is fantastic. We learnt that male role models through a webinar on the Literacy Champions project, engaging boys in literacy, which really helped. We was actually sent some resources to share with parents, some packs, sort of talking about engaging children in learning and literacy and things, which we was able to print out and email to parents. So they've used that really well. And then just touching on engaging parents, again, we've obviously got one of our dads who comes in and reads to the children, but we also do a coffee and cake afternoon every term. So Chloe used that opportunity as a prime time to train the parents up, but in an informal way. It was just slice of cake, drink a coffee, and we just had a chat really, but they really engaged so well from that. And something more recent that we started doing, we've got a lot of children in the 2-year-old room with speech delay, and parents now are borrowing resources, story sacks, animal object bags, things like that, which you would not believe the difference now with the children, and it's really showing in our data results, isn't it, the progression. So parents are actually doing the teaching at home. So we've gone from sort of telling parents about documentation and now being so engaging, and we're really seeing that difference with them children from borrowing those resources, which is brilliant. And this is again all from the Literacy Project.
The parents have been quite engaged, haven't they, really, since the whole time we've been doing the project. And I know sort of going down to Forest School, where the children get a lot out of the interactive sort of story sacks, especially we're going on a bear hunt. That's something that parents are always telling us that the children love to do, and yeah, I just think that works really well. So
it's staggering actually how much of an improvement we've seen. I was just saying earlier, we've got a lot of deprived families here, so not necessarily every child would always be meeting. So percent of meeting age bands can be quite low in some areas, particularly as we know specific areas can be the areas, you know, which that we found were lower in. Literacy was one in particular that we was always lower in until starting the project. And in the spring term for making progression, we'd gone from about 83% of children making progression in literacy reading to 100% of all children. So where we'd picked 2 or 3 children per key group to see the impact on them particular children, it's happened for every child in the setting. It really has. And then this term again, we've seen staggering results with the meeting, which means that the children now, I think through partnerships with parents, and again just using all the resources and everything that comes with the project, we're now seeing 90% of children are now meeting, and nearly 100% are all making progression. Progression is something in particular that we've worked on here, and we're actually seeing accelerated progression this term. And I know from things we've shared, and obviously the feedback that Nicole, the owner, has received about how much impact the project's had, that she's now got everyone either doing maths or the literacy project to improve that literacy and maths overall for when they go to school. So all of our settings are now doing them projects, and one's doing the SEND champions as well, which is great.
I think I'd just say go for it. And you know, the improvements in everything, staff confidence, the resources, the environment where we've done our displays and things, I think we've seen massive improvements in everything. So
it really has helped in every area for us, and given that literacy is behind when they're going up to school, I just can't see it in any way, shape or form in a negative way. It's just fantastic. So yeah, definitely we're doing the maths project next, and I recommend it to everyone who can do it. I really do think we can make a difference for these children going up, particularly with our deprived families, just the parent partnerships. It's just gone from strength to strength, and I don't think even when the project's finished we'll ever lose sight of it. I think it will always continue to grow, and I think we'll always use the project. So yeah, it's definitely been a good thing for us.